What up, guys? Paradox back with more tech support. We're here today to go over this dipstick tube and why it's such a pain in the ass to get back in the engine. So, ever since I've worked with this car, I've came to realize that this is one of the biggest pain in the asses about working with this whole engine. Is this dipstick tube is really only made to go on and off the engine when the engine's out of the vehicle. So, for anybody who's ever had to get this thing out, you guys know, or put it back in, you know that this thing's a pain in the ass. The big deal is that once you either have the engine out of the car or you have the dipstick out of the car, there's a way around this, and all you're going to really need is a piping cutter. And what this is a piping cutter, and you cinch it around whatever tubing you have, that as you spin it, it's going to tighten this down and slowly cut what you have. So I've in-depthly looked at this in the inside of the bottom of the engine block, and basically what's going on is right here, it's coming through the block wall, and then right about here, it's actually with this bend avoiding the bottom of the crankshaft spinning. So the crankshaft spinning would be, you know, like right over here, and this is going down into the sump. So as long as you cut this past about that line, so the straight is about where you're going to cut off. So imagine if, you know, right around here, it's just going to make it past the bottom of the crank. If you cut it up here, it's going to go right into the bottom of that spinning rotation, which I've actually done too, which is so where we found out the exact perfect placement, which is going to be right about there. So you're going to have just a little bit of straight after the nub, and then you're going to want to cut it with that tubing cutter. And what that's going to do is that when you go to put this thing back on the engine, it's just going to go right in. Just going to get it real close. Like that. So like what you do is once you got it on there, you just kind of give her a spin or two or three, and you'll feel it kind of go loose from the spinning of it cutting. And then you give her another half a crank. Do it again. Do this to cut a lot of the intake tubing. They do have larger cutters like this too that you can use on the intake tubing, so you don't have to make metal shrapnel everywhere. And then, you know, after about 3-4 of these of just tightening it down and spinning it, it's going to pop off of there. There it goes. It's been a nice cut. So when you stick it back in, it's going to be able to make that fitment. When you're trying to make it go in, a lot of times that's either what it's banging on, is it's trying to go around the crank, which is the reason why some people report that it's not that hard, or they can get it in. Or as soon as you cut that, you're going to still go around the bottom of the rotating assembly and down into the sump. But you're going to have, you know, that 1 inch of volume that was putting you right into the brake booster. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to basically put the stick back in the car with it off now. So it's kind of a manufacturer defect. I'm glad I could help you guys out with just a quick one tonight on how to cut the dipstick tube down. And then now, once you'd have it in there and you'd have it in the vehicle, all you're really going to kind of do is get right in the slot, tap her down 1, 2, 3, and I felt it get solid. And then I would just put that to the engine block like that. So I had to bend this one a little bit to get it out, but now that it's out of the car, you have to realize it's actually just this hard to get it out. You only need about 1 inch and it comes out. So I'm glad I could help you guys. Good luck with your old dipstick tube.